Mr. Amesbury is a romantic, but the world has no place for romantics. His dad wants him to marry as soon as possible, and if necessary, his dad will find a bride for him. If I refuse my father, he will disinherit me, and I admit freely I do not wish that at all. I cannot help but avert my gaze at his words. I've never known anyone, save Arabella, who I've treasured as a sister for years, talk so openly of their private affairs before. Well, maybe he feels open around you because he likes you, Mr. Amesbury seems to notice my uncertainty, a teasing smile playing at the corner of his full lips. Have I shocked you with my intrigues, Miss Bennet? You are indeed rather bold. Maybe I could shock you with some of my own. Maybe I should shock you with some of my own, Mr. Amesbury, so we're on a more equal footing. He gives a laugh and steps forward. Such a tempting statement, one I may call on you to uphold. Before I have a chance to blush once more, he thankfully offers me his arm. Shall we head back? I curl my hand around his arm, and he gives a bright smile before we return towards the picnic. Heading back to the park, the peace of the bridge is quickly broken by the chatter of the large picnic party. As soon as we're surrounded by people, I feel Amesbury tense beside me. I do despise what society's rules do to people. You have not spoken to anyone yet. How can you have such a dislike? I am versed enough in the practice. And yet you are here in town participating with everyone. I did not come for the society of these people. I was supposed to be joined this year by my good friend, but he was held back in the country. My friend is the reason I'm here this year as well. She hoped I would help her through a possible engagement. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm the one who's talking about my friend. Sorry, I was like, wait. He has a female friend who's about to be engaged? No, that's me. I'm Catherine. Okay. So, looks like we both came, because of our friends, and his friend ditched him. Aw, poor Mr. Amesbury. He cranes his head slightly, spying Arabella. For arranged engagement, I must say they look happy enough. I cannot help but stifle a laugh as I glance at the man he mentioned. That is in fact Colonel Foxley, not her intended. Really? He leans closer and hushes his voice. Well, I certainly feel for her betrothed. Seems like he doesn't have much chance against this colonel in her eyes. We both laugh, though I also give a nod of agreement. Arabella and the colonel certainly look close enough to give the suggestion of intentions towards each other, even if they might not realize it. Oh, I think they realize it. They were doing some pretty heavy flirting. I think they know they like each other. Mr. Amesbury gazes down at me, a smile once more on his lips as he examines my face. I must say, Miss Bennet, if I am to suffer through the season this year, I am most glad to have found a potential ally in you. Oh, not a potential ally, a certain one. Oh, I most agree. I would hope to be a friend. I don't want to be just friends. I want to marry you, buddy. You want romance? Come on. I am Catherine Bennet, the super romantic woman. So, let's be nice. Let's say, I'm not just a potential ally, a certain one, Mr. Amesbury, Mr. Handsomebury. Your assuredness puts all of my other friends to shame. Laughter envelops us once again until the sound settles, and I am suddenly uncertain if it is his gaze or the heat of the sun that's making my breath catch. As I dare to meet his eye, I am hit with the realization that I am most pleased to have stumbled upon Mr. Amesbury when I did. What was that? The sound of glass crashing? There's a heated scene before us. Lord Steer, a plump man with a red face, is baring his teeth at Mr. Randall, who himself is looking crimson with fury. That cane belongs to me, sir. How dare you? Do you know just who you're throwing such... How dare you accuse me? Don't you know who I am? A pompous prig who steals the property of his betters. That's who, you thief! Oh my. You will regret even thinking such slurs. The insults nearly soon came to blows, with Mr. Randall raising the offending cane like a sword, though luckily surrounding servants step in before anything more than cutting words can be dealt. What on earth could that have been all about? I glanced to my side to see Arabella and the colonel approaching. Arabella smiles at me as they come to a stop, her gaze falling to her hand as she sees me holding Mr. Amesbury. I do not believe I've had the pleasure. Oh, of course I do apologize. I step away from Mr. Amesbury, noticing his disappointed frown as my arm falls from him. Oh, he's sad that I'm not holding him anymore. Hold me close, never let me go. Mr. Amesbury, may I introduce my dear friend, Lady Arabella Ashbourne? She dips into a small curtsy and he bows in return. And this is Colonel Foxley. I believe we already have an acquaintance. We grew up in the same county as children. Ernest Foxley? The two men laugh, and Amesbury steps forward to clasp Foxley's arm in a genial greeting. You've done well, Foxley. Last time I saw you were struggling to keep up with your brother. Yes, well. The colonel clears his throat, and the two men step apart. I doubt you have much trouble in doing so nowadays, eh? My brother's with the clergy now. A good man, then. We are most proud of him, yes. Though I do believe many of the girls from our county will be lamenting his absence. The happy cheer that spreads through the group almost makes the previous unpleasant scene a distant memory. Yeah, what was with those two guys having a fight? That was strange. That is, until Lord Steer begins loudly protesting Mr. Randall's continued presence at the picnic. Okay, the fight is still ongoing. I've never seen Lord Steer so riled. He barely shows emotion enough to convince his wife he still lives. It is the doing of the Society Swindler. What? Is this a mystery? An ember of interest flares within me, and I turn my full attention on the colonel as he continues. He's been plaguing our streets since before the beginning of the season. Who is he? No one yet knows, though many are on the hunt for him. What's he doing exactly? He accosts good men and women in the streets at dark, demanding payments for safe passage. What a horror to think of such a thing happening! Like a common highwayman, just robbing innocent people? Indeed, it's most troubling. No, thankfully, there's been no sign of violence from the man, and it is most confounding, for whatever he steals from his victims, he simply ends up returning. Wow. He returns it? Not to the original owner. It would seem he sends it on to someone else. There have been many confrontations this season so far, where one person accuses the other of owning something of theirs. And of course, instead of that person simply returning the object to the rightful owner, they refute it and suddenly demand it belongs to them. But why? Because they're too proud to admit otherwise. I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously, I would not want to admit I stole something. But, you know, if I got a cane delivered in the mail, I'm like, no, this was an anonymous gift from someone. I didn't steal it. Ooh, that sounds like a terrible excuse. Okay, I don't know then. Well, this whole thing is most unusual, but highly entertaining. I can't remember the last time society held such interest. You only say that because the swindler has not yet bothered you. Very true, and I'm certain I would soon change my view should he prey upon me. I sure hope Amesbury isn't the swindler. I don't know about that. His gaze slides my way, and I smile beneath his attention, before being pulled from it by Arabella speaking. That's enough small talk. We're here to delight in good company, and that's what we shall do. Then might I suggest we move to one of the blankets and continue with lighter topics there. The idea is well received, and we all move to sit in a more comfortable location.